Alright, we're back with another game, and this starting hand is looking pretty good. Red-breasted merganser and the grosbeak. Grosbeak is expensive, but we might be able to pull this off fairly effectively. Kind of like the ring-billed gull as well, but my food is kind of a problem here. No fish in the bird feeder. So that hurts the merganser. Can't just play the grosbeak and then gain fish. But I think we're still going to go with it regardless. Well, it looks like platform builder. Citizen scientist is not good. Alright, I think we're gonna roll with this. Opponent kept 2 birds with a standard spread. Throw it on our grosbeak. My opponent took the catbird. Not too surprised by that. We'd have to gain food twice here in order to get the merganser down and overpay for it. So we'll take the worm we need. And then we'll deny the wheat out of the tray. Got a gnat catcher in the forest from our opponent. Let's gain our food again. Let's take a worm, and we get the cherry off the grosbeak. My opponent laid eggs, so they're probably going to go with the catbird here. Kind of wondering now, do I take food again and hope for a fish? And then I'll have a stockpile of food for whatever birds I draw. I think I'm going to go with that, and we did not get a fish. So we'll take another worm. We'll take a wheat here. So now I gotta get this merganser down on this next turn and start drawing cards. Here we see Puffin in the tray. My opponent took the turtle dove. Barn swallow is amazing. We needed that top deck. So let's ditch the robin. Got a red start from our opponent. They've got 2 wheat, so they're going to drop that turtle dove here in the grasslands. Looks like they're pretty weak on their card draw development. They're not showing. They got 2 cards in hand. One of them is the catbird and the other is the turtle dove, so we know they don't have any power. So let's throw down our swallow in the grassland. There's the dove. Let's draw some cards here. Cold tit could be good. Goldfinch is good. Get rid of the dunnock. Nothing too devastating in the tray here for my opponent to grab. They might grab this sandpiper just because they desperately need a wetland bird. And they did grab it. So how do I feel about this grasshopper sparrow? Don't think I need it yet. I need eggs, don't I? I think I'm going to draw cards first because I want to keep all these birds. I'll draw cards and get tucking fodder for my swallow here. And we got plenty of fodder. There we see the sandpiper, so those extra cards they hand out are going to help us. Tuck the gannet. I keep looking at this grasshopper sparrow, but I don't think we really need it. We don't really need that either. Now we can play cold tit and start gaining some food for these big fat birds. There we see Bob White from our opponent. Interesting. eggs from our opponent. They got no food. Wonder if they don't. So this card they have in their hand is the Mockingbird. So I'm going to gain food here. Let's take the fish. And we need lots of fish and wheat and cherries. Take this fish. I could get the food for the goldfinch. Get wheat, cherry here. I think I will do that. We'll have to spend the wheat off the coal tit, but we need to make up some lost time with that slower round one we had trying to get this merganser on the board. Confused myself. But that is okay. We got more food from our opponent. Could flip the bird feeder again. Food and personal supply works out for what's going on here. I do need the rat for the eagle. Let's roll again. No fish. Let's take the second wheat. And we get this eagle down. Hopefully we can recoup some fish for the Puffin right after it. Got to keep an eye on platform builder. Maybe this broadwing hawk will help with that. We have 3 platform nests in hand. We got a 4th on the board. Free card. Coot isn't horrible. And I normally don't like this round goal, but with the way things have panned out for us, we need all this extra food that we can get here. We could stay ahead on this round goal while also trying to secure the food for all these expensive birds. My opponent doesn't have a tucking bird on the board, so it's not imperative to get the goldfinch down yet. Bummer here is that I can't get the reroll on the bird feeder before the grosbeak. That can only grab cherries and wheat. I can't pick up another fish here. Let's grab the worm to have one. Let's grab another worm. And there's no fish there. Let's grab another wheat. So there we have snow bunting from my opponent. Gonna counteract my swallow. And they have no activations left with 2 food. So we can play a bird and still win the round goal here. I think we'll throw down the European goldfinch. Got a pretty good tray. Blackbird is good. Ibis is a good bomb. Another expensive 3-point bird that needs fish. Or 3 food cost bird, rather. So what do we got going on here? Round goal is cavity nests. So I think this is kind of a weird position to be in. I got all these expensive birds and fish aren't coming up in the bird feeder. Really getting blocked hard by that. I could just keep gaining food, but feels kind of pointless at this moment. My opponent is going to need food here soon. So if they pick at the bird feeder, and that gives us a chance to get a reroll and grab some more fish. So I'm going to slow play this bird feeder a little bit. And want to play this coot. Take the draw card action. Coot has a platform nest that will help with our platform builder. I don't necessarily want the hawk. So because we have the coot, We don't need the platform nest of the hawk, so we can tuck that under the barn swallow, gaining eggs here. So let's spread our eggs around to our cavity nest birds. And I could scoop up the ibis or the blackbird. My opponent's not having problem generating eggs, and if they use the blackbird, it gives us point off our goldfinch. So I think I'm just gonna take off the top of the deck, and thank goodness I did. That's gonna fix all our fish problems right there. And we have the food to play it. Amazing. Sparrowhawk for my opponent. And they didn't tuck. I was just gonna say, where did my goldfinch point go? But they didn't tuck, they spent the rat. I don't know that I mind that. They denied themselves a point and spent one of their food. So let's play our raven, and then that's going to be another platform nest for us. We can actually work on maxing this thing out, I think. But probably going to wind up tucking. I don't necessarily want to tuck that either. So I might draw cards again here. It is getting kind of late in the game, though, to just draw some cards. Let's see, I have 2, 3, 4, 5 platform nests. Let's just work on getting our big birds down. And then I can cycle the coot and pick up the ibis. I'm gonna get the food for the eagle and hope that my opponent gains food here and flips this bird feeder over. So they just drew cards and they handed out a card. That's great, actually, because that's tucking fodder for the swallow. So now I can just lay cards here again and slow play my bombs. I probably shouldn't be tucking on my swallow, quite frankly, because it's a net wash, and I think I have a stronger position than my opponent, and when I'm just allowing them to cycle like that, kind of giving them a way to try to find an out, but I'm just kind of feeling generous, not really worrying about it too much. They've handed me a bunch of cards with the sandpipers, so they did gain food, and there is a fish in the bird feeder. So our eagle could recoup a fish here. So let's now take our opportunity. There's another cavity nest bird. I wasn't really paying attention to the round goal here, so they did play their second cavity nest bird, so they're going to be able to tie us. If I had played the Puffin, I could have laid eggs on it and won the round goal, but my play is going to be more efficient having grabbed that fish, because I can just go eagle Puffin and make up some lost tempo. And this is not a good pull. Breeding manager, we've got 3 birds that qualify. So I got 1 activation that I'm going to be playing the ibis, so I can easily get 2 points off breeding manager. So let's go with that. So So we got Whooping Crane for my opponent. Good bonus card bird. Round 4 goal is eggs in the forest. So I'm not sure we're going to secure that one with how things are going to pan out here. I got to think about breeding manager. Getting eggs on the coal tit is no brainer. We need to use the raven one last time for a fish and a worm. And I think at this point I'm not going to help them dig for Benellis or something like that. So I will skip the card cycle. They do have 2 cards in hand. So we both have 9 egg spaces in the forest. And if they play another bird, they could theoretically 3 times 3 is 12 eggs. So they could fill up their forest and win the round goal. So I have to make a choice between trying to get the most that I can out of breeding manager. I've got to at least get that second point out of it, otherwise I should have grabbed food web expert. 4 activations left. I can save the ibis for the end. So they drew cards here. So I wonder if they don't have Benellis or Eastern Imperial and they were getting the extra cards they needed and they didn't use the Sandpiper. So I don't know why you draw cards here and not lay eggs unless you have one of the big eagles. So there's 3 activations left. 3 times 3 is 9. 2, 3, 4, 5. They can max out their forest yet. With 2 activations. So now I think they have a big eagle. So now I'm going to take the tuck just to see if I can't get something good in these closing turns. I'm kind of gambling here. I'm assuming they already have one of the big eagles because that draw card action doesn't make a lot of sense. So there's Moltoni. That's weird. I don't understand what's going on here. That could be the second bird for Prairie Manager, or they could be gearing up to drop a 0 food cost bird at the end, but they're going to have to gain food here, and that's not going to get them any points. So now I have to go back on my theory about them having Benelli. That's strange. Very unpredictable play there. So let's work on our breeding manager. And then on my last activation, so let me think about this. I could spend the wheat, my remaining food, on a 4th egg and max out my forest. That would force them to lay eggs into the forest here. Try to win the round goal. And I need 1 egg on my Merganser to get the extra point from breeding manager. I also need to worry about my goldfinch. Let's guarantee that point. And actually I can just spend the egg now. Or spend the wheat now. Let's do that. And And I could actually, now that I think about it, this bonus conversion. Got 2 activations left. One of them is going to be to play the Ibis. So maybe on that previous turn, I should have spent the egg just to have the food. So I spend the egg, and I'm going to get it right back. But I can move this egg from the swallow to my forest or my wetlands, essentially, is what's happening. Interesting. So let's do that. So if I cycle with my swallow, I mean, what does that actually do for me right now? It doesn't do anything. So I should just skip it. One thing I did forget about in my egg calculations, though, is this Ibis. So I'm going to need to spend 2 eggs to get the Ibis down. So here my opponent gained food. So we don't see a rat here. Could be... It could be gearing up for a double play. This could be a blue heron. Something else. I see a cherry there. That could be a bluebird, something else. The 2 fish. So they're probably going to do a double play here. They're going to lay eggs into their forest, and then they'll get a double play off the Moltoni. So they could have 4 more eggs. They have 4 now. They could go up to 8. I have 6 now. So this puts me up to 8. So they're probably going to try to win this round goal. So we're kind of up against Breeding Manager and our Ibis here. And I'm going to skip this because I need all the eggs I can get. And I'm going to skip the swallow. And my Ibis is going to get me 6 points. So there's their eggs. They've activated their Moltonis. They've spent a food on an egg. So, okay, they picked up the second egg from the bobwhite. So if they play 1 bird, they're going to spend these 2 eggs. If they play 2 birds, they're going to have to pull 2 eggs out of their forest. So the Ibis is 6 points. And I would have to pull 2 eggs out of my forest. Because any egg I pull off the Goldfinch or the Merganser is really going to be worth 2 points because of Breeding Manager. So I'll go down to 6 eggs. And I'm just going to resort to getting second on this round goal. So that would be 6 points from the Ibis. And 4 points from the round goal is 10. And if I just lay eggs, it's 4. My opponent is going to have 9 eggs. If I lay eggs here, I will also have 9 eggs and tie him. So that would be 4 points. Plus 5. For the tie on the wrong goal is 9. So 9 points and minus 2 points for my opponent. As opposed to playing the Ibis is 6. Plus 4 from getting second on the round goal. My opponent is essentially getting plus 2 points over me. So I think it's actually better mathematically here for me to ignore the Ibis, because it's not going to help us on our bonus card, and we'll force the tie on the round goal. And they can't pull off some trick like playing lesser red start or white throat or whatever and laying eggs in their forest, because they've got a ton of eggs in their forest already. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. A lot of math here at the end. And I'm not going to cycle a card again because there's no point. And I could just give them Benelli again off the top of the deck. So I did win the round goal here. So that ended up being a lot more points. So what did they do? Well, if you like that action, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. I'm really curious to see what happened at the end there. He must have played a bird or something. He pulls ahead on the bonus cards. Come back on the round goals. He's probably got more eggs. I got more eggs. 20 eggs. Tucked cards. 93 to 79. Oh, I thought it was closer than that. It felt like he really came back at the end there. It was really scaring me with that Moltoni's. But let's take a look at what he actually did here on his last activation. So he dropped Tree Swallow off the Moltoni's. So ecologist. So he was trying to get on the board for wetland scientist, I see. So I was kind of overestimating what he was going for here. He did have the other Raven, so... Alright, well, good game to my opponent.